Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel today. As you can see from the, thumbnail and what we're on right now, we're going to be doing a little discussion today, more so than a review or anything, on the new, Sony's newest, iteration of the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 Pro console, and kind of just giving you my thoughts on it, if I think it's worth it, or who I think this maybe is for, or, stuff like that, because as you can see, I'm not holding anything. I'm on the, official website, as you can see here, because I don't own one of these, which might kind of, give you a glimpse as to kind of what my thoughts are, what my opinion is on this right off the get go. And if you've been watching some of the recent videos, I've mentioned it as a comparison. It's hasn't been in great light usually that I'm talking about this thing, but yeah. So essentially, we're just going to be kind of going over this. I have the PlayStation 5, like the original console, or I guess it's slim now, but the PlayStation 5 console pulled up as like a comparison page essentially on this side as well. But I'm just going to be giving you my thoughts on this and kind of tell you if I think Sony's new PlayStation 5 Pro for $700, which is if you compare it over here, I know there's been some sales for the PlayStation 5 recently, but this is generally $500, the original PlayStation 5 here. I guess if you go to buy now, maybe or something, it'll pull that up. Here we go. So yeah, this is $500 when it's not on sale. You can get a Fortnite bundle, I guess, for it to be on sale if you want. But it's $425 or $500 there. I don't know why you'd get this one as a bundle that's a lot cheaper. Regardless, maybe this has a stand or something. But kind of let's just dive into the PlayStation 5 Pro and kind of give you my opinions on it and kind of talk about a little bit. For $700, again, if you've seen some of my videos here, I think this is a tough sell. I know there's kind of been like the cliche thing to say about the PlayStation 5 Pro here recently. It's like, oh, it's a tough sell or it's not really worth it and stuff. But honestly, you have a hard time kind of going against the grain here with this one and saying that's not true, to be completely honest with you. Because, I mean, for $700, who is this exactly for? Because I'll just say right now, as like a quick, if you want a quick review here, if you already have a PlayStation 5, whether it's the new Slim model group or the original PlayStation 5, I don't see a reason why you would upgrade to this. It's either a new $700 they have to spend for a slightly, if really at all, upgraded, PlayStation 5 console here, or you can, sell your PlayStation 5, like the original version, for used. Probably heavily used if you're considering upgrading to the Pro, honestly. For I don't know how much used PlayStation 5 is going for these days, but not enough to cover this, obviously, not even enough to cover new PlayStation 5. That'll cut into the dent a bit, but you're still not exactly, you're still spending, hundreds of dollars that you otherwise wouldn't have spent in the first place at a bare minimum. And on top of this, the console, while it's technically speaking better, like you look at this specs here, it's got another terabyte of storage than the original console, assuming you don't have the inserted fucking SSD that comes with it separately. It it's got what are the I can't remember the Spectral Super SSR, the PlayStation SSR Super, the Spectral Super resolution. It's got a bigger like GPU essentially, so it's supposed to be running a more powerful thing. It's got advanced ray tracing, which I'm not sure what the difference there exactly is from normal ray tracing, but that's just kind of like a you know buzzword, I assume. But yeah, it's the big upgrades here. The extra terabyte of storage, like natively in the console, without having to buy the separate SSD that they sell. But it's plays at 60 FPS up to 120 FPS with 4K output and ray. I'm assuming that's ray tracing. And that's the same kind of spec line, because if you remember the PlayStation 5 review I did, that's the same spec line that the PlayStation 5 runs at. You can even go over here, literally to wherever their specs page is, up to 120 frames per second with 120 hertz output with a 4K display. So really, the big thing is the extra terabyte of storage, as well as the ultra high speed SSD and the PlayStation SSR and the more powerful GPU, which I'm not really sure if they make a mention to enhance quality image for PS Next online wireless connected. They don't really seem to make a huge mention towards the whole bigger GPU and how it like that's one of the bigger selling points, honestly, that they're for some reason not really kind of honing in on for whatever reason. But essentially, there is a bigger GPU in here, and the spectral super resolution, and the terabyte of storage. Those are the big. Looking at that, it is a better system than the PlayStation 5. And I'm not entirely sure if it's better than the Series X. I know it has more storage right off the bat than it does, even though there is a 2 terabyte storage version of the X now. So I'm not even sure if it's better than the best version of the X you can get, really. But regardless, it's at least on par at a bare minimum. And the problem really is the price point. Regardless of whether you already have a PlayStation 5 or you don't have a PlayStation 5, but you're kind of, I don't know, you're kind of looking at which console to get here. Ooh, just wanted to see if the webcam was going there. But yeah, it's a tough sell. I mean, at a base price, which right now, this really isn't running at a base price right now. You can get the disk drive version of this thing for with a bundle of Fortnite stuff for $425. That's a disk drive version of the PlayStation 5 Slim. That's the one I reviewed. This one I have, if you remember this. And so it's a $200 increase or $275 increase really right now for the bundle edition that they're selling right now. So it's a tough sell whether you're looking to upgrade or get into the market of the PlayStation in general. I really don't know exactly. I guess really the main audience of who this is for essentially is people with money to burn first of all, but people who are really, really nitpicky on performance and graphics and storage capabilities for some reason. And I wouldn't upgrade. Like, I want to say people, you can sell their PlayStation 5 and whatever, but I really wouldn't upgrade to this. It doesn't seem like it really makes any of a difference. I know I don't have the side by side video and everything for this pulled up for you, but there are plenty of examples of people running two games side by side on the PlayStation 5 console right here and the PS5 Pro, and people just not being able to tell a difference really, or you have to really nitpick, certain frames and particular pixels almost to tell a huge difference here. And one argument I've seen made is that, oh, the PlayStation 5 Pro is a new console, right? This is what, a month or so, maybe a 2 month old. Release date November 7th, 2024. Yeah, so it's a bit over a month old-ish. And it's like, oh, well, there just hasn't been a lot of games that have been optimized and really take full advantage of the Pro. And it's like, that might be so, but I don't really see a lot of games that are, even when they take full advantage of this, are going to look so much drastically different that a $200 or $275 difference is really at all worth it. And that's the disc drive version. So I think the discless version of the PlayStation 5 Slim is like $375 or something in that ballpark. So it's like what, a $300 something increase or whatever. It's just, and not even to mention this thing, which is the anniversary edition. This is $1,000, which essentially just gets you a different looking PC or a PlayStation and controller, and gives you an extra controller, I believe like a dock or something maybe. But that's I would never spend $1,000 on that unless you're just a diehard fan, Sony fanboy and really love the PlayStation 5 and nostalgia for some reason. But getting back to PlayStation 5 Pro, again, I really just don't see a market or a use case for this. And even for people getting into PlayStation, I really don't know why you would upgrade to this, spend the extra, at a bare minimum, $200 rather than just getting a Slim. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, you're getting an extra terabyte of storage, but an extra terabyte of storage is not worth $200. And the slightest increase in graphics that you ever tell is also not, it doesn't close that gap any for me, whether the suit SSR, the advanced, the like bigger GPU, and so that doesn't close the gap on what that price increase should really tell there. And it's just, On top of all of this, the PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't come with a lot of amenities. Like, obviously, it comes with the console and the controller, like everything does. But if you look here, it doesn't come with that vertical stand that it's showcasing right there. It comes with the just horizontal mounting. The vertical stand, from what I understand, is not included. Vertical stand and disk drive sold separately, yes. It doesn't come with a vertical stand, and it doesn't come with a disk drive. So on top of the $700 you have to spend, it's another what, 30 for a vertical stand if you want that, and it's another what is it, like 90 or something for a PlayStation 5 Pro disk drive or whatever. So that's, if you want both of those, it's another $120 on top of that price tag, and it's just mind-boggling to me why people would want to. Again, when you're talking about graphical improvement, you have to be a guy who doesn't even play games to play games. You have to be a guy who plays games to nitpick graphics and showcase the very top of what machines are able to, output and perform. That is who this is really marketed towards, in my opinion. Even when there's a whole host of games toward the end of the PlayStation 5, lifespan, this current generation, that are PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced or have the option to do that, it's really not going to be worth it. I mean, maybe in a while, but as of now, this is a hard sell for $700, especially without a disk drive or any vertical stand included. It's a tough sell. It truly is a tough sell here. I don't know why the price point is what it is. I know consoles are expensive to make. I know they're really money losers for the most part, outside of maybe Nintendo or something with the Switch. But again, the money is never made on the actual hardware, the console itself. It is made on the games. So taking a bath on that for return profits later is pretty standard. And again, for $700, it's just, has a console ever been priced at $700 like that? I know for inflation and stuff, maybe you can pull up, oh, it's $300 in the 80s. It's, however much money now and stuff. But I don't know if a console has ever been priced at $700 just right off the bat like this. At least like a mainline console like this, anyways. And it just, I don't know. It's a tough sell to justify that extra at a bare minimum, again, $200, which you probably is not going to be $200 again. You can get bundles that are cheaper, on sale that are cheaper, because this is new. It's not going to go on sale for a bit. It's just, there's no disk drive either, so that's another, whatever, $90 or $60 or whatever that you're out if you want to actually have the option to play physical media on this, which is crazy. It doesn't come included with a $700 or a $1,000 console if you get the anniversary edition. It's kind of mind-boggling why this is what it is. Again, I wouldn't upgrade to this if you already have a PlayStation 5 Pro. This is almost like the Xbox One generation with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. That kind of precursor, I guess, the next generation there. But it's almost like that, but it's even less impactful. Because I feel like there was not only a bigger jump in graphics and performance in those, especially from the One to the X, which it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was enough to, at the reasonable price point that those were, justify it, and the performance and the storage and everything. But this, it really only has the increased storage going for it, and it kind of only has that because, again, it's fairly affordable to upgrade storage on consoles or PC these days. And it just, I don't know. So kind of just wrapping up my thoughts on this, kind of from the rant that I've been on this entire time. As far as like the good on this, I mean, it does push performance. I mean, you're making a more powerful machine at the end of the day. But as for who this is for, or is it worth it? I'd say overall, like 9 out of 10 cases, this is really not worth it unless you just have some money that you want to burn for a different looking, a more powerful console. Then by all means, go ahead. It is the more powerful console. Go ahead and buy it if you have the money and you don't really care about what I'm saying. That's completely fine. But for people who don't have that or like spending their money wisely and stuff like that, this is a tough sell. I'd say by and large, 9 cases out of 10, this is really not worth it to anybody. I wouldn't upgrade from my PlayStation 5 Slim or original to this, even if I could get a good price on reselling my, used PlayStation 5 console, it's really not worth the upgrade money, especially at this point. Maybe if there's a price decrease or sale at some point with PlayStation 5 Pro and you can still make that happen, then maybe you have a argument to be made there. But even then, I mean, I think it's still not going to be worth it. Even when the PlayStation 5 Pro has more games come out that are specifically targeted and optimized for it, it just doesn't really strike me as something that's really going to make a huge difference. And again, they're still going to make all their games for this generation playable on the PlayStation 5 base, because this isn't a new generation. This is an upgraded Pro edition of the same generation. It's not going to be like, if you guys remember the 360 to the Xbox One days when they're still trying to make games for both. The most heinous example was probably BO3 on the 360 and the Xbox One. It's not going to be anything like that. It's not that huge of a difference. Again, I really think this is only for people who have money that they don't really care how they spend it and want the upgraded edition because it is a more powerful console. Or if you're brand new to PlayStation 5, getting into it and you want the highest, most, optimized gaming console, and again, you have the extra money to spend, go ahead. Those are the 1 or 2 out of 10 cases that I think this is like a, reasonable. You can justify this purchase as a person. But for the other 8 out of 10 cases where you already have a PlayStation 5, I wouldn't upgrade for this. Or if you're getting new in the PlayStation and you don't have the money, or you want to save some money, or you want to be frugal or whatever, this is not worth the $700. It is not worth the $200 at a bare minimum price increase from the PlayStation 5 Slim. It's just not there for most people. At least not yet. If there's a whole host of games that are really great and optimized for the PS5 Pro in the future, and it has a price decrease, it goes on a sale or something, and you can resell stuff from the PS5, it might be more, it might be more of a doable thing, and it might be, more reasonable what they're asking. It might be, a better deal and better use case, a better buy case for a lot of people. But as of currently making this video, which maybe we'll revisit this later and make another video, but as of this current video, I really don't see this as being worth it or a good deal for most people because of you're not getting enough bang for your buck here. And for all the reasons I listed, it's just really not worth the increase or the price point that it's set at. So yeah, I'd say for most people, this really isn't worth it. And I would kind of stray away from that and go more towards the base edition. Or this one for $425. This is a pretty good deal, actually. Or the $500 version one. Still better, probably. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts and opinions on the new PlayStation 5 Pro console. Kind of, is it worth it? Which, again, for most people, I think it's not. I don't really think it's a good bargain here in any sense of the imagination. And yeah, we might revisit this a year or 2 down the road or something, see where it is, see what's all up for it. But again, as of now, I really don't see a use case for this. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below anything you want, and let me know your guys' thoughts on the PS5 Pro, any questions you have. If you do enjoy the channel content in this video, I encourage you to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. But yeah, can't thank you guys enough for your viewership and your support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.